In 2014, I wanted to undertake charity work in Southeast Asia to help the children. I know that we're all #1mob, so I thought, who better to help me in my quest to help Southeast Asian children than our very own Indigenous First Nations people, of which I am a spiritual member. I applied to the Indigenous Arts Development Fund for the $12,000 I calculated I'd need to pay for the volunteerism orphanage program. I was immediately denied the grant on the grounds of my, and I quote, lack of indigeneity. So I hopped online and I started looking for any fake elders online that might be able to draft me up a certificate to confirm my aboriginality. My allyship runs deeper than my skin color. So then I reapplied for the grant and I weaved a really touching tale about how I'd be using the funds to go to Outback Australia to fashion dot paintings and get in touch with my inner dreaming. I received a call to tell me I'd been successful. So I immediately transferred $8,000 to the Cambodian orphanage that I'd selected, and I spent the other $4,000 on business class return flights for myself. And then eventually I wound up at the Sunshine Missionary Orphanage on the outskirts of Phnom Penh. I was delighted when I realized that I would be building accommodation for these children and therefore a brighter future for Cambodia. So I immediately set to work. 2 weeks later, the Indigenous Arts Development Fund got in touch with me and they were asking me for a progress report on my dot paintings in Outback Australia. I realized that I could use the cages themselves to fashion the dot paintings on. I dubbed my artworks Oriental Dreamtime Orphan Cages. Within days, it went viral. We decided that we'd go into a business together, selling the cages via Etsy to international art buyers. So that was amazing, and I caught my business class flight back to Australia. I was immediately taken before the Australian Federal Police and charged with fraud. I had all the profits from my authentic Aboriginal art taken from me by the AFP, and they said to me that in part, they would be using my proceeds, my profits from my artwork to reimburse the Indigenous Arts Development Fund. And I checked my phone only to find that my situation had gone from bad to worse. The entire internet was talking about international art buyers receiving cages painted in mock Aboriginal artwork by a white man and loaded to the brim with dead Cambodian children. I had to go into hiding for a bit, and while I did that, I tried to think hard about my actions. I came out of hiding and I called for an immediate boycott of the Indigenous Arts Development Fund for their racist policies towards white allies such as myself. So everyone at the fund lost their jobs, so that was good. And I'm currently still in the process of commencing legal action against the Australian government so that I can get my funds back for my profits that I made from my art. I am an activist and an artist, and if you can't understand that, then I will make you pay for it. Solidarity.